welcome back. I hope you guys had a wonderful break from the last lesson. And this lesson is a lot of fun. We get to interact again. We'll have another assessment so you can give your response to what we're learning right now. So we're going to dig even deeper. First, we talked about our personality traits that may be holding us back or helping us in our financial decision-making process. We also talk about our values that we place on certain things that could hold us back or push us forward as well. And now we're going to talk about the way we think about money and how that affects our financial decisions. So we call this money personalities, and that's what this module section is going to be about. So we're going to learn about some different money personalities. Now, there are a few different systems that we can use, but today I'm just going to focus on one. So again, thank you for coming back and joining me to go over the exciting section. So a lot of research and discussion has taken place over time about the idea of habits and attitudes and how they affect our financial decision-making process. To help people really think about this, people start talking about money personalities. And they categorize these different personalities to help us kind of think, what are the personalities like? Is that going to be something that I recognize? So what we're going to use is some categories that have been developed by Olivia Milan, and we're going to be going to the website actually, and I can show you where to get some more information about these particular money personalities, where they come from. But Olivia Milan created these particularly, and she's really well-known professional who works in the area of money and relationships, and she helps people with conflicts that come up or might come, because of money, their money personality. How personality meaning how you look at money when money comes up. What is the first thing that comes to mind for you? And that will be your money personality. So money personalities, we're going to move on to here, and they're titled to show the extreme. So they're not necessarily what you would be on a normal day basis. They typically are undesirable qualities of the money personality types, and this is really done to help us understand how these attitudes could negatively affect someone or people that they're involved with. So basically, we're just going to zoom into the personality itself and then tell you, the positive traits and the negative traits about that certain characteristics of your personality. The truth of it is that most of us are a mixture of all of these money personalities. So we're going to take a test so you can identify which one identifies you the most. However, naturally, you're going to be a little bit of all of these. One of them is just going to stand out a lot more than the others. So you can take that, reflect on it. But let's go ahead and let's get started. The master. They like to have a lot of money. In fact, they're always working to accumulate money. So it may be a little difficult to find life balance if you think about it. If they're always working to create more wealth, they may not have enough time to spend with others that are important to them. And they may really only feel fulfilled when they're working to make more money and to accumulate it. They may, as you can imagine, find it difficult to spend money as well. They just love to earn lots of money. They equate money with their self-worth and power, and their major concern is finding investments with high rates of return. So whether they're going to be hanging out with someone or they're going to look at opportunities or business investments, they're going to be looking at what can that business financially bring themselves. And it's hard to give up with financial control unless they're type of warrior. And then they're going to be looking at their money coach or advisor as the individual who's going to bring them those returns. Then we have the avoider. You might not know people like these, or you might. A money avoider is somebody who's probably late paying bills because they don't want to have anything to do with money at all. And they don't want to think about it usually. They likely don't know how much money they have, nor do they know how much money they're spending. And really to them, if you ask them, money sounds a bit boring and maybe even overwhelming as well. In fact, they may not even feel competent to really manage their money. But with education and practice and a little bit of money, an avoider can gain the confidence and the competency to handle their own finances eventually, so that they're not in trouble with paying their bills late. We have the hoarder. Now, the money hoarder is somebody that really likes to save money. And actually, they probably a person that likes to create a budget of any type. And a lot of us here don't even know what a budget is, but the hoarder definitely knows what a budget is. And they probably go to their budget and they'll play with it daily, weekly, just a whole lot, just to see what their financial situation is at all times. They might find it hard and tough to spend money on themselves, or especially to buy gifts for other people, because they just don't want to waste money at all. They're not going to spend money on those luxury gifts and items or go on fancy vacations all the time. They want to save that money. And then things that other people might think, like purchasing an item, would make sense. They might see those purchases as unnecessary or maybe even frivolous. So if you can think about it, money hoarding might not cause a problem for some, but it kind of depends on the relationship with other people and how they feel about it. But if a person feels too worried or anxious about spending money all the time, whenever it may be a good idea towards spending money, you might modify this behavior and attitude somewhat to find a good balance in your life. And as you can see on the slide, it shows, they'll hide their money in their mattress rather than have it at a bank. They're going to, be the shoe stuffers. They're the type of people that you can probably go into their car and find some pennies and nickels stuffed in the seat. They probably are the ones who did it. Now that's probably a little too far, but it is showing the capability of what a hoarder would do to save some change and not have to spend it. Now we have the interesting money monk. The monk thinks that money is evil. And a lot of these people are the people who say the saying, money is the root of evil, which it can be, but that's not totally true. So, the money monk believes that money is bad and the cause of all problems is money. And they don't want to accumulate money. In fact, it can be very challenging for them if, for example, they inherit a lump sum of money or they get a promotion and get a higher salary increase. That can make them feel very uncomfortable. And then they'll likely avoid investing that money because they don't want to lose it, or they think something's going to happen. Maybe even they'll bring up the cause that someone's going to try and rob them, or the money came from a gang and they shouldn't have it. These type of people enjoy contemporary lifestyles and don't live lavishly. They feel like if you bring too much attention to yourself, you're just causing your own destruction. So those would be the reasons why the person didn't want the money, because of the attention they feel. So it's kind of an anxiety to have money. Money is very bad and evil. So that is a money monk. You may know a few of these people. So, and you might be this individual as well. So just think about how thinking that way can have a alternative effect on you, especially if you're trying to run business. You definitely don't want to be the money monk, because it takes money to make money. And if you're here to live a wealthy lifestyle, you definitely can't live wealthy or peacefully without money. So money is not all bad and evil, but if you're to that type of an extreme, then we definitely want to alternate our characteristics and how we look at money, how we view money, and our personality system, so that we don't infringe on what we're trying to do with having a better financial life. And then we have the spender. So what about the spender? Okay, so it's kind of the opposite effect here. This is somebody who likes and loves to buy things, and they like to enjoy them right now. You can't say now any quicker. You can pass this person a credit card, it'll be maxed out in 5 minutes, because they've already spent every dime of that money before they even walk into a store. That is a spender. And so we all know a spender. They're going to be spending likely probably all the money they can earn, and they're not going to necessarily be able to save any money because they're too worried about spending it. And then in fact, they might even find that they carry a lot of debt because they want to spend money that they don't have. So again, this is a really good example of when somebody can be kind of conscious of their money personality, and they say, maybe I fit into the spender. It can help them if they want to change their spending and saving behavior just by recognizing it. So, some people just don't know that they're spenders. They don't even think about it, because as you move through emotions, you're not really thinking about, today I'm a money spender. No, not really. But if you know that this is brought up to your attention that, hey, you're always spending your money, maybe that's why you don't have any. Well, that can save you a whole lot of drama when it comes to changing the way that you're setting up your financial situation and learning how to be more wealthy type of individual. Now we're going to talk about the money worrier. The money worrier tends to worry about money pretty much all the time. They want to have control over their money, and so they may spend a lot of their time checking account balances, seeing where their money is. Interesting enough, having more money doesn't tend to make them worry less at all. That's kind of an interesting aspect to think about, because, again, being concerned about money and knowing where it stands, that can be healthy. But if worry takes over your life and you find that you're doing it all the time, maybe a little bit too much, then it might be a good point in which to think about whether you want to take some steps and take control of these feelings so that it isn't something that's overwhelming you. Being overwhelmed with your finances could be the very reason why you're stuck in a rut. It could be that you're doing all the right things, but it's kind of like if you're an athlete. You do everything you need to win your contest, but then you're so worried about winning that you don't even run your race. Don't be that person, and that's kind of where the money worrier comes into play. Don't be the person that does everything right, but you're so worried about it that you're blocking your own success. And you can go ahead and take your browser to this website. It's just www.moneyharmony.com. And then once you get here, right at the top of the screen, you will see that there is a Money Harmony quiz right here where the finger is at. Just go ahead and click on Money Harmony quiz. Now it's going to take you to this page that I have here on my screen. Take the Money Harmony quiz. And I want you to go ahead and take this test so that you can figure out which one of the Money Harmony personality types you look like. And you'll answer these questions. I'm just going to go ahead and select a couple of questions. I'm going to answer these randomly, and no specific real response, just so I can show you what you should be getting. But you definitely want to take your time. Make sure that you answer all of the questions honestly and correctly so that you can get the best results for yourself, and make it, more personal to you. I'm just doing this here so that we can get some type of results and you can see what to expect. And once we're done, we'll go at the bottom. There's 20 questions, and we'll hit, what is my money type? And it shows, based on the answers that I responded, it looks like I am the money monk, unfortunately. All right, and the great thing is like I told you during our entire module, is that no one is just one of these. We're all going to be, a mixture of them, but one of them are going to stand out. A couple of them might stand out. So as you can see, based on the unreal answers that I responded, my response came back 5 responses for Money Monk. That's basically the one I match up with the most. Then we have the spender and master and hoarder coming in second. And the very last one is the money avoider. So what I can take from that is that, the money avoider is not something that I relate to as much. So it's not going to hinder my ability to, get money and use that for whatever reason I'm trying to use it. I can focus my time on seeing how my characteristics with the spender and the money monk is going to be towards my finances instead. So you can read all of the things on this page, and you'll have an excerpt here about the monk, or whichever one comes up for you. And she also has some other really, really good information. So I just really would love for you guys to have some fun, take the quiz, figure out which one you are, and then, go to the Facebook page and tell people what you are. And, have fun talking to one another about how these characteristics and personality types affect your finances. And also make sure that if there's a quiz, go ahead and respond to the quiz as well, if that pops up for you. So, and I don't know if I've said it in any other modules, but if you don't see a quiz, that's totally okay. Sometimes the quizzes will pop up, and then sometimes they won't. But if you do see it, go ahead and get the quiz done. And then if not, go ahead and go to the Facebook group and, share with our friends, what you were, what your quiz results were, which is a lot of fun. Questions that we're going to need to ask is, what's important to you about your finances? We want to know, how can understanding your personal finance help you reach your goals? And then we also want to know, how do you handle or think about your money? What type of money personality are you? And how does your attitude hold you back? And how could it help you in your financial journey? So these are some questions that we want to ask ourselves as, we reflect back on all the personality types and all of the dig deeper modules that we reviewed. So get to the quiz and answer these specific questions so that you can reflect on them as we continue through your financial journey. There are some things you should know by completing this module with digging deeper. You should have been able to really reflect upon yourself and understand exactly who you are. You should know your personality type. I mean, who are you? How do you handle yourself? How do you make your decisions? What type of person are you whenever you react? What values do you have as a young child and now as an adult that affect the decisions that you make with your finances? Do you have a dream? You should have a huge dream and know exactly what that dream is. And it should be big enough that it's not so reachable today, but it's something that you can see yourself and know that if that's how your life were right now, you would feel amazing. And it's just that huge, and you can strive to meet those goals. Um, you want to know what resources you need to achieve that dream. You know, do you need friends? Do you need families, connections, network, money, finances, more savings? What is it that you need to keep that up? And then, how does your personality types, your money personality types, your personal personality type, how do those things affect your decision making process? You definitely need to know yourself, what you're doing to hold you back or to push yourself forward. Um, you need to know your financial goals. Exactly what are you wanting to accomplish, and how are you wanting to accomplish that? And those should have been weaved into your huge dream. And finally, you need to know your complete situation. By knowing everything prior to this, you should have a good grasp on your situation as a human being and where mentally you are, as far as if you're even ready to go on this financial journey with a cash flow cake. So I'm so happy that you guys made it through with me to get to this point, and I'm excited that you now have revealed yourself. You took a shovel, you dug right in, and now you got the jewels that you need in order to push forward. Sometimes these modules can be a bit hard for some individuals because it's not hands-on. It's not getting straight to the information that we know we're here to get. But it is the platform, it is a foundation that we must know in order to really get the benefit out of the knowledge that we're going to learn later. So thank you so much. Remember, cash flow cake, keep the desire up. These personality types, your dream, your decision-making ability, all of this affects how much icing you're going to be able to put on your cake. And we all know that the icing is the most important ingredient for our cake of any kind. So just keep in mind everything and all of the knowledge that you gained during these modules. And take it with you as we get to the end so that you can put that precious icing on top of your cake. And it's going to be the most amazing, most delicious thing you've ever tasted in life. All right, see you on the next module, and I just can't wait to see you there.